Can someone who's only 5 feet tall ride an adventure bike every day? The answer is absolutely yes. But there are a few things we have to do differently. In this video, I'm going to show you how I move the bike, how I get on and off safely, how I park in a parking lot, and then use proper technique for smooth starts and stops. The slow speed riding techniques themselves are exactly the same for every rider, regardless of your height. If you've already watched my slow speed training series, those same skills apply here. Today, in this video, we're going to focus on the things that are unique to being a shorter rider. This video is all about riding an adventure bike on the street as a 5-foot tall rider. In the next video, we'll take this BMW off-road and cover the techniques and challenges that are unique to trail riding. Hi, I'm Scott with Low Altitude Flyer. I believe riding is a learned skill, and if we practice the right techniques, we can safely ride about any motorcycle. Let's get started. Before we ride, let's take a quick look at the motorcycle. This is my 2026 BMW F800GS with the factory low suspension and the factory low seat. For reference, I'm 5 feet tall and a 24-inch inseam. The bike has a few accessories that make it more practical for the type of riding I do, but none of the techniques that I'm going to show you today require any expensive modifications. Technique is far more important than equipment. One thing I do recommend for every rider is adjusting the motorcycle to fit you. Handlebars, clutch, and brake lever positions, shifter, brake pedal, and suspension settings should all be adjusted so the motorcycle works with your body instead of against it. Taking a few minutes to properly set up your motorcycle can make a huge difference in comfort, confidence, and control. Moving the motorcycle. One of the biggest concerns shorter riders have is simply moving the bike around. The first thing I want to say is, don't feel like you have to walk the motorcycle backwards while you're sitting on it. Most of the time, I don't. Anytime I need to move the bike forward, I ride the bike forward. I don't duck walk, but actually ride the bike. If I need to move the bike backwards, I stand beside the motorcycle, usually on the right side, and I leave the kickstand down in case the bike gets away from me. Here's a simple way to upright the bike. Just put a small amount of pressure on the peg and the bike will stand up. Once the bike is upright, it's super light. I use the front brake whenever I stop, and I simply walk with the motorcycle. One hand on the right grip and the brake, and the other hand grasping something on the rear of the bike, turning towards the direction that I'm moving the bike. If you move the bike forward while you're off the bike, always make sure to look over at the kickstand to make sure it didn't get folded up when moving before you set the bike back down. Getting on the bike. Everyone develops their own routine. This is what works for me. The kickstand's down. If parked on level ground, I will get on from the right side. This is easier since the right peg is higher off the ground, making it simple to step over the seat and all the gear. I step onto the right foot peg, then I swing my leg over the seat. Once I'm settled, I bring the motorcycle upright. I found turning the handlebar all the way to the right makes it easy to upright the bike. There's no reason to rush. A smooth, controlled mount is always safer than trying to hurry. Getting off is simply the reverse. You lower the kickstand completely, make sure it's fully extended, lean the motorcycle onto the stand, then step off. Again, slow, controlled, no drama. Parking actually begins before you stop. As a shorter rider, I'm always thinking about how I'm going to leave. Is the pavement sloped? Will I have to back the bike uphill? Can I ride straight out? Whenever possible, I choose parking spots that let me pull straight out when I leave. If I need to back into a parking space, I turn the bike to be perpendicular to the parking spot and then get off and walk the bike back. A little planning makes parking much easier. Smooth starts and stops. For shorter riders, keeping the bike upright under power is everything. You don't want the bike to fall over when stopping. Of course, we never duck walk the bike, but instead I set the throttle to about 2,000 RPM, ease the clutch into the friction zone in stage 2, keep light pressure on the rear brake if needed. As the motorcycle begins to move, it becomes stable, and that's when my feet come up on the pegs. Note that the foot comes straight up as soon as the bike starts moving. No need to keep it dangling or near the ground. As long as you apply sufficient power, the bike will stand up and be stable. Trust the motorcycle. It wants to stay upright once it's moving, as long as it has sufficient power to the rear wheel. This is critical. From the time you first start, all the way until you put the foot back on the ground. Stopping is just as important. Keep your eyes looking ahead. Apply the rear brake smoothly. When riding on the street, I always plan on putting my left foot on the ground. This allows me to keep my right foot on the rear brake until I'm completely stopped. It's important to keep the clutch engaged with sufficient power being delivered to the rear wheel all the way until your foot is on the ground. Never let the clutch out until your foot is firmly on the ground. It's a simple habit that gives me much better control. Here is what it looks like if you don't keep power all the way to a stop. Note that the bike falls. Note here how stable the bike is all the way until the foot is on the ground. Once the motorcycle is moving, everything else is exactly the same. Emergency braking, tight turns, serpentines, U-turns, figure eights. Those techniques don't change because you're short. I've already created detailed training videos covering all of those exercises, including smooth starts and stops. I'll link those videos in the description below. Master those skills and you'll have the confidence to ride almost any motorcycle. Riding gear. Today I'm wearing my Tourmaster riding gear. I found what size fit me the closest, then I took everything to a local tailor and had them custom fitted. It actually wasn't that expensive. The advantages of having riding gear tailored is that it actually fits. There's no excess material bunching around your knees or elbows, and it allows you to move naturally on the motorcycle. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. You'll also find links to all of my riding gear, motorcycle accessories, camera equipment, and the training products I use on my website, lowaltitudeflyer.com. In the next video, we'll take this same motorcycle off-road, and I'll show you how I handled loose gravel, dirt roads, uneven terrain, starts and stops, and the techniques I use as a 5-foot rider when the pavement ends. I hope you'll join me for that one as well. Thanks for watching, and ride safe.
Runway 6, clear for takeoff, first air Charlie.